Hello everyone, this is David, Fairly Secret Music. Today I'm going to just do a video of what I got within the last 2 days. I ended up selling a CD and decided to use that money to go towards more music. But this will probably be the last for a while because I'm crossing my fingers on a cool job coming up. So, you notice King Diamond in the background. Anyway, Billy Talent. Metal Mickey has talked about Billy Talent. He actually played a song, This Is How It Goes, off of this album. And I found this for $1. So I thought, you know what? I like a lot of their stuff where it's more melodic. This is, I believe, their first album. They're a band from Canada. And, yeah, kind of pop punky, kind of, I don't know. They're really kind of hard to describe. But I have yet to listen to it. Most of these I have yet to listen to. So, yeah, that's the first one. It was a very odd day today. I decided I was going to get a bunch of Testament CDs, but they ended up not being there, used when I got there. So I started looking around at other things and thought this was $2.95. So I thought, you know, I have a bunch of Bob Dylan stuff, and I have a bunch of Grateful Dead stuff. Actually, I have all the Grateful Dead stuff. And I thought, I've passed on this a couple times. I know there's a remastered version, but for $2.95, I thought, screw it. I will get it. Dylan and the Dead. I believe it is all live. This is one that I have kind of put off getting. Bob Dylan live in 1966. At the Royal Albert Hall. It's actually not at the Royal Albert Hall, I don't think. I think it was done someplace else. It comes with this huge booklet, like all of those Bob Dylan ones do. I also have the basement tapes. Apparently I'm going to just sit here and go like this. But yeah, it has tons of liner notes and photos and everything. Salute. But this is with basically the band backing him up in 66. It was 4 out of the 5 guys. It was Robbie Robertson, Rick Danko, Garth Hudson, Richard Manuel, and then instead of Levon Helm, because he didn't like being booed all the time, it was Mickey Jones. I love this picture. It says, the offending instruments, because this is when Dylan went electric and people were booing him at his shows. And yeah, this is the show. He starts playing Like a Rolling Stone, and this is the show where the guy yells Judas to him, and he's like, I don't believe you, you're a liar. And then he tells the band to play effing loud. So I finally got it. It's got a little damage right there, but it was $4.95, or no, $5.95 or something like that. I got this yesterday because I thought I could pass it on as VCLT at some point. I know Rob Black Star Vinyl is it Black Star Vinyl? Let me see. That's my music that I give you guys when I'm looking for stuff. Yeah, Black Star Vinyl. Why did I think he was called something else? Anyway, he's mentioned he's gonna send me some stuff. So, Rob, if you have heard Orphaned Land and need this, let me know. Or if you don't need it, Chris, if you are Dude 1973, if you are interested. This is a weird band. They have kind of a weird, they started out very death metal, and then they turned into kind of like the Middle Eastern version of Opeth, or yeah, Opeth is pretty much, yeah, they're like the Middle Eastern version of Opeth, with a lot of kind of you know, Middle Eastern-y chords, like doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo kind of stuff. Their singer is really good, but he also does death metal vocals, and they sometimes have female vocals in the background. Very heavily orchestrated. Later albums, this was kind of like their turning point and their best album. It's called Mabool, Mabool, the story of the three sons of seven. They have later albums that were mixed. Maybe even one of them was produced by Steve Wilson. So yeah, I have two of these. So, and it is a double disc. It says exotic mysticism meets Middle Eastern metal. Includes a special bonus disc featuring acoustic versions of old songs plus a cover of Paradise Lost's Mercy. I recommend it, so reach out to me if somebody wants it. Testament, The Gathering. I got this for $3. This is what made me go, okay, I'm going to give Testament a shot, because I got this and I actually enjoyed it. Chuck Billy finally doesn't annoy me quite as much as I thought he did. His vocals are pretty decent on this album. So I was going to get like Dark Roots of whatever and Formation Damnation or whatever that album's called. But they weren't there when I went to get them. So I looked around, found the Dylan, found King Diamond, Voodoo. That's right, Darcy. One more. I decided I'm okay with going with the originals because I don't really care if the other ones are remastered. I figure if it was good enough to release in, what year? 1998, that it probably sounds pretty decent, and I got it for like under $5 or something like that. So, yeah, Voodoo. I've listened to parts of this, like the first 3-4 songs, and so far I'm actually liking it better than House of God. So I heard that Voodoo and Graveyard were two of his worst albums, but when I like this one better than one that people praise, I don't know. I think I just can't trust reviewers. Not Darcy, not you. Other people that I was reading articles on said that Voodoo and Graveyard were his weakest albums. I still have to go back and listen to Darcy's best to worst order. I know I probably will get Abigail too, but I don't want to. I won't like it. I decided to finally get this. I saw it a little bit ago, and it was like $5. Was it Feeding Off the Mojo? I actually saw Night Ranger on this tour. It was a small place called the Mirage in St. Paul, and they were actually really good, but it just wasn't the same because I had seen them on the Man in Motion tour, and I think it's a decent album, and I don't mind. I think it's Gary Moon. Is it? Let me find out. What's your name, Mr. Bass Play? Yeah, Gary Moon. He was from, I think, Three Dog Night or something like that. This guy. Look at that hat. Gotta have that hat. Anyway, but yeah. It's a pretty decent album from what I've listened to so far. I'm glad that Jack Blades and everybody else came back together to do a couple albums. and they've since made a lot of more albums. I could have just seen Night Ranger recently for free or something like that, or for a donation type thing. I think a friend of mine went, but he was not looking forward to it because he had to spend time with somebody he didn't want to be spending time with. Now, here is where I kind of lost my mind, because altogether all of these would have been pretty cheap, you know. The two Dylans, and then these two would have been fairly cheap. But all the rest of these were brand new. I don't have the last two Queensryche albums, but I am seeing them next Saturday. I figured I should know what, you know, the rest should sound like, other than just that one single that I listened to. It's kind of a minimal booklet with lyrics. No photos of the band, because I think there's only, I know Todd Latore plays drums on this album. So, but I listened to the first 4 songs on this, and now Queensryche are starting to sound like a band, or like old Queensryche when it felt natural. I thought the first self-titled one with Todd was good, but, and I would pick both of those other two up if I found them used, but nothing I'm going to track down and buy new. Darcy Six Strings did a video talking about this, and my friend Phil on the Thrash It Out podcast Facebook page has talked about this at length, and I thought, all right, you guys have convinced me to get it, so I picked it up today, and so far I am not disappointed, but it's kind of a cool cover. This one I was kind of reluctant to buy, but I thought, you know what, it might be a while until I can get CDs again, and I decided I'll just do it. Dream Theater. What is this album called? Distance Over Time. Cool Hugh Syme artwork. Lyrics and like photos or paintings to go with every song. Picture of the band right there. And it looks like, or sounds like, whatever they did to John Mayung's bass, it's really present. All the people who have complained about not hearing his bass in the past are going to have to shut up, because you can hear it fairly well on this. Really cool picture of the band right there too. That just folds out like that. It's pretty cool. It's a nice, heavy, sturdy CD. And the nice thing is, it's in that, you know, not the stupid slipcasey bullshit. This is in a tray. I'd much rather have like this tray and then like the open thing. And then the last band, Chris at one point told me to listen to them, and I did listen to them, and I was like, man, they're okay. But they had it there, it was on sale, and I decided, yes, I will give Witherfall a shot. This is a Prelude to Sorrow, and this is the singer who has been filling in as the singer for Sanctuary, and I would buy a Sanctuary album if he was on it, so I thought, you know what, they had a couple copies. I would have bought the other album that they put out, but they did not have that, and probably for the best, because I was already at, you know, quite a bit of money. Although I didn't spend as much as I thought, which is good, because the other day I gave myself a limit, and I didn't I didn't reach that. I had $10 left over from that. So it spills over, you know. I listened to the first 3 songs, and there's a song called We Are Nothing that is a second song. It's the 11th minute song, and there's a spot in the middle where it sounds like they're almost going to go into on Dream Theater's Awake. There's a song called The Mirror, I think it is, where he goes, but it sounds very much like that. Yeah, so I'm excited to listen to all this stuff. There was a funk band that I almost got to, but I thought, yeah, I'll just wait, because it was like a compilation. I would rather have studio albums than kind of like, it was like a best of unreleased things, but the bass player was really good. That almost made me buy it. So, lots of metal that I didn't expect to get today. I went for just some Testament and ended up buying all of these. Yep. Had that yesterday. If anybody's interested. Dylan and the Dead, and Billy Talent. Have a good night. Bye.